This what God feel like. Laughing to the bank like
On Saturday, our tour group visited the laser factory, then traveled south to Xiangbian in Bao'an, a district in northern Shenzhen, the site of our second tour, an injection molding factory. Kevin, our tour guide, explained that the factory is one of the top 5 injection molders in the world. They're a supplier to Apple, Belkin, Huawei, and Xiaomi. They're also responsible for 70% of the plastic parts in LENOVO products. The company specializes in two-shot molding, the combination of 2 colors of plastic or 2 different finishes like glossy and satin. The first step in injection molding is milling the mold. These clamps are used to hold the material in place during milling. These Fanuc CNC machines mill the molds to a 0.02 millimeter tolerance. You can see the 14 heads, different drill bits used for milling the part. Next door, operators use sophisticated control panels to operate these dangerous electrical cutting machines. These high-precision machines can cut holes or round corners. The mold finishing room contains other machines that precisely adjust the mold's shape. This machine uses an electrochemical process to raise the surface of a mold. Next door, workers carefully measure the molds using expensive Swiss machinery. Progress is kept track of on large whiteboards. The mold-making rooms open into this large open-air space, where skilled technicians assemble the finished molds. Here we can see the mold mounting piece. The paint is chipped off this well-used mold. We walked down a flight of stairs and found the injection molding factory floor. We're greeted by a room of large machines. Workers can observe the molding process through this plastic window. Once set up, the machines are highly automated. The machines I saw were working with no human operator at all. Here we can see inside the machine. The mold separates and an arm comes in and pulls out the finished part on the right side of the mold. This machine is working on a 2-shot part. The mold flips to do the first and second half of this process. The arm drops the excess plastic into garbage bins, then places the finished part on the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt carries the finished parts to the next step of the process. The factory floor is filled with machines. This machine is making faceplates for computers. In the hallway, I spot the employees of the month, and this room where prior molds are stored. We traveled downstairs to the first step in the part finishing process. On this side of the conveyor belt, workers of all ages finish the plastic parts. This worker clips off excess plastic from these pieces. Someone else on the tour tells me this sign says they're working on wearable wristbands. This worker assembles a few parts, then puts them on the conveyor belt when they're done. This worker cleans the surface of the plastic part, then pokes out a buttonhole. This worker uses a squeegee to apply plastic film to the part. We finish our walk through the production floor and walk upstairs to the painting floor. We're instructed to put on these fashionable shoe covers as it's a dust-controlled environment. In the first room, workers do 100% quality control checks on all the parts. In the next room, workers mix paint. You can see the city from the windows here. Across the hall and behind an airlock are the painting rooms. In another bigger room, workers check the quality of the painted parts. We take off our shoe covers and travel to the assembly room a couple floors below. Here, hundreds of workers hand assemble products. Machines are used for finishing and assembly procedures. This worker is using a sonic welding machine. This young worker mans a laser finishing system. The software shows the path the laser will follow. These parts are rough on one side. He lines the pieces up in the jig, and the laser removes the rough edge. At this factory, I got to see the injection molding process from beginning to end. Our tour guide explained that there are 3 parts that are necessary to making a good plastic mold. One needs a good design, good machines to make the mold, and experienced engineers. It was interesting to see the level of automation of the injection molding process and how hands-on the finishing and assembly process still are. And that's about it for my trip to the injection molding factory.
Flex on swole like